All right. Hello and welcome. So you are today here for a treat. So I'm going to introduce to you amazing woman who made a lot of difference in other women's lives and other people's lives. She touched a lot of. So we are featuring today Dr. Elizabeth Sherrell-Davis. Um, and we are on the Balanced Body Peaceful Mind Summit. So we're gonna have 21 days to restore energy, center yourself, and thrive in everyday life. That's what our goal for our summit today. So I just wanted to introduce you, Dr. E. So Dr. E holds a PhD in organization and management and a certified life coach. She is a retired instructional design manager with over 40 years of experience across government, education, and business. Founder of Signature of Excellence Coaching, Dr. E empowers women over 40 to find clarity, confidence, and work-life balance. Dr. E, do you want to add anything to that? Anything else you want to add? Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit more?
Well, happy Sunday, everyone. And thank you so much, Anastasia, for this wonderful opportunity where I can talk about the importance of what some of the challenges that women go through every day in their lives. And just to have a conversation with you and looking forward to sharing this wealth of information to the community. So again, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So I have a couple questions to you, Dr. E, if you don't mind to answer to me. So I just wanted to ask, you specialize in helping women over 40 to find work-life balance, right? So what are some of the most common challenges you see, and how can women begin to shift out of survival mode? What do you think?
So, my practice, Signature of Excellence Coaching and Consulting Firm, what we do is we have conversations with women that, 40 or over that are running organizations. They're running organizations with anywhere between 30 to 100 to 200 employees. They're also running their households. They're raising children. They are also taking care of their elderly family. Okay, so they have a lot on their plate, and they find time to volunteer and make sure that their children have extracurricular activities, if that is could be sports, dancing, or whatever that may be. The woman is taking care of all of these challenges,
Mhm.
and she has a calendar. So here at Signature of Excellence Life Coach, we work with women, one, to help them to put together their timeline. So of course you have all of these things on your plate, but how do you manage them? Do you manage it the same way that you manage your household? Probably not. So understanding the person, helping them to put their timeline together, and they also have homework. Some of that homework is each one of our clients is part of the program is for them to create what we call our shadow boxes, where it's a vision board, and they use a shadow box to create how they want their life to look. And within these shadow boxes, they're able to change over a course of time how they want their lives to look, whether if it's in the workplace, at home, or with the children. I
Mm.
hope I answered your question.
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you so much. So you had a long and successful career in government, education, and coaching. So how do you stay balanced and avoid burnout over the years? I know it could be quite stressful.
Well, that's a great question. And because what got me to this point in terms of owning my own coaching and consulting firm, that I was burnout. So imagine working 40 hours a week as an instructional design manager for the Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Imagine being president of a nonprofit organization. And so not a small nonprofit organization, a nonprofit organization that had 62 chapters across the United States. Right. The headquarters of the national office is located in Atlanta, Georgia, and having volunteers reporting to you and making sure that the organization is being run well. Mm-hmm. So 9 to 5, leading after work, leading a nonprofit organization. I've got a father that's ill. I'm going through a divorce. And to add to that, I'm also teaching at a state prison, and my students are incarcerated men. Imagine that. And my day started at 4:30 in the morning. That did not end until 9, 10 o'clock at night. So eventually I became this robot. So the alarm goes off at 4:30 and I do all of these tasks. I've got a list of things that has to be done. And I'm good about setting up my task list and getting things done. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't good to myself. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not eating well. I'm not eating a balanced meal. I'm eating on the go. Not good, not good at all. So that means now I started having health issues, meaning high blood pressure. I gained weight, pre-diabetic. So it wasn't until the end of my term in 2022 as president, because when you're always constantly on the move, at some point you have to come down and sit and say, I gotta take a breath. I gotta catch myself. But it wasn't until my term ended that I realized that I was no longer connected to myself. So now what do? And now I have to get help. I'm not feeling good. So now I have to make doctor appointments. First step was therapy. Okay, so I got to connect myself, reconnect myself, and become happy with myself. Looking in the mirror, I'm not happy. So from there, in therapy, I just happened to go to it was a women's retreat, and the ladies that were there were life coaches. Well, I was unfamiliar with the term life coaches. But by the time I left that day, I had a clear picture of what that was. I came home, I did my research. Now, mind you, this is September 2022. By December, I was in class. I started my coaching program December 2022, 9-month program. I'm in therapy. This is good. I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to reconnect to myself. By the summer of 2023, I finished my program and I'm building the business. And what I took away from that time was to learn how to say no. That's very hard for some of us as women to say no. Mm-hmm. Because again, we're running organizations, we're running our household, we're taking care of the kids, we're taking care of the husband, elderly family members, and sometimes our brothers and sisters' children, our nieces and nephews. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we don't say no, but I've learned how to say no. Mm-hmm. I've learned the importance of having downtime. Just having a Saturday a month of Netflix Saturday.
Yes.
Being able to get up in the morning to walk before work, I would start my day. Mm-hmm. And, the pandemic was hard on so many families, but to be able to work from home gave me the opportunity to reconnect to myself, because every morning I'm walking. Mm-hmm. Okay. And, I'm reconnecting myself to the kitchen and preparing these wonderful, healthy meals. So by 2023, I was starting to feel much better about myself. So, after 90 days of therapy, I was good. And then I hired a coach, a business coach, because now I'm focused on the things that I need. So I kept saying to myself, if I was disconnected and going through what I was going through, other women are too. And those women don't know what they're going through. They need someone like me to share with them what you're going through. So that's when Signature of Excellence coaching and consulting firm was developed. Because I knew if I was having those challenges, other women were having those challenges, and I want to help those women to succeed. So that's the story.
So yeah, thank you so much for sharing. So I think it's essential for us to ask for help, and we just don't. So as women, and actually some men, it probably would be the hardest too to ask for help. So why do you think it would be very important for women and just for people in general to have a coach or mentor in their life?
I think that we live in a society where reaching out for help, you appear to be weak when you reach out for help. But in order to be successful, you need a community to help you to be successful. So if you are a woman that's running an organization, running your household, you need to outsource certain things so that you can take that off your plate so that you can have a life. One small thing that helps is having a housekeeper.
Yeah.
Coordinating with mothers where maybe the mothers can pick up the children, or you're in that community can pick up the children or drop them at home or take them to their after school activities, whatever that may be. You're married, and husband and wife puts together their timeline, the agenda. How does that agenda look each day so that the mom can have that free time to herself, whatever that may be. It could be just sitting in the house, not doing anything and not saying anything.
So true. So true. So we just need to learn how to ask for help. So that's the hardest thing, definitely. So is there any examples or any powerful transformational story in your experience, in your coaching experience, would you have? So that woman just has something huge, something different in her life, and you change her life for the better. Do you have anything to share?
As we as women, as we go through the transitions of life, after 40, you're getting ready to move into menopause. And that's a whole different conversation. I had a client that very similar to my story. The difference is that she adopted a baby at 50. And sometimes when you adopt children, you don't really get the full DNA history of that child. Well, as the child grew, the child had, the parents were on drugs. But we didn't see that in this child until she was about 13, 14, where behavioral issues took place. So actually, the client ended up is a friend. So when you first become a coach, your friends and family become your clients. But little did I know, because a lot of times we don't know what's going on in someone's household, whether if you know them or not, or even if you're coaching, because people only tell you what they want you to know. I didn't know that she was a hoarder. And she was probably at level 2 of hoarding. So, and that was because of what she was dealing with her organization, working 9 to 5, taking care of this child, and then making sure this child had all the tools and resources needed to be successful. That means therapy appointments, seeing psychologists, psychiatrists, meds. So it took a toll on her. And how she was able to handle the situation was by buying things. Amazon. I mean, when I went into her home, from the person that I had met 30 years ago until that day when I saw her, when she had really allowed me to see her, and I was like, oh my God. So we had to sit down and have a conversation. I need to understand, how did you get here? However, as a coach, we're only focused on what's going on now. As a therapist, you try to go backwards, to your client or your patient's history.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt that it was necessary for her to start going to therapy. She needed therapy because I'm not skilled in the area as a therapist. However, but I can work with her from that point moving forward to help her to declutter, which was a 90-day process. Because first you're in denial. There's no such thing. I'm not hoarding. These are just items that I need.
Right.
Well, not when you buy 500 of one item. But having the conversation so that she could understand that she's connected to these items that she's purchased. So that means she's hoarding those items.
Mm-hmm.
So step one, how do we do this? So we put the plan together. We started with one room, which was the laundry room. Room one, the laundry room. Room two, the bedroom. So she and I put together the plan, and and she got her community together and had a community garage sale. But in the beginning, there was a lot of denial.
Mm-hmm.
So between therapy and the coach, we were able to help her to identify what those challenges are and how are we going to move forward. And and how not to fall back into this situation. One, going back to, we as women, we don't always reach out for help. So now you have to reach out to the community for help.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a day that you're exhausted, call on your community, rely on your community.
Mm-hmm.
You need a spa day, go
Mm-hmm.
get your nails done, go to the hairstylist, those types of things. So she does not fall back into level 2 of hoarding. So as a result, today she's doing much, much better. Her daughter has graduated from high school, and she's off to college.
Wow.
So we're not sure if there's going to be a challenge because now if the house is empty, she's an empty nester.
Mm-hmm.
And so as a personal friend, I'm checking on her to make sure that she is healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably client number 3, but I learned a lot, which will help me to not to get to that stage. Being open and honest with myself and reaching out to my community when I need help.
Yes.
And more importantly is when your community can see that there's something different about you, behavior is different, you have to speak up. Community has to say, hey, I noticed this is what's going on with you. Tell me what's going on. So, there's a two-way conversation. So, not only my community helps me, but I help my community as well.
That's so wonderful. It's so wonderful.
Thank you.
So in your leadership journey from the executive to a young professor and nonprofit president, how did you manage your time, energy, and boundaries?
Well, as I said before, I was a robot for a long time. I was a robot for about 5 years. However, I managed to get everything done in a timely manner, but I wasn't taking care of myself. And when you're not taking care of yourself internally, you're not happy. On the surface, you look happy, and everyone's proud because things are getting done. But internally, you're not feeling good. What I will say about that journey, I learned a lot in that journey. I learned a lot about myself that, I mean, how much weight I can handle in terms of tasks and managing people, managing nonprofit organizations, managing my household. But also at the same time, I learned that you sometimes, like I said earlier, you have to outsource. And when it outsource, housekeeper, someone to take care of the lawn, I mean, someone to come take care of this. And not all of those tasks requires you to pay someone to do if you have a community. That's how I was able to manage that world. And I wouldn't even say the world was chaos. It was just a lot on the agenda. And some of it, I should have said no. But you know, when we as women are trying to climb that ladder, that corporate ladder or that government ladder, what we're trying to do is get all the experience that we can get so we are prepared for that next level. Because most of us, we have mentors that are guiding us to that next level. You get to this level, then you're preparing for the next level. And these are the things that you need to do to prepare for the next level. So for me, the nonprofit, being the president of a nonprofit organization, put me at the top of my tier, which allows me to go into any organization as a consultant and help that organization thrive because I have the experience of for-profit and not for-profit and nonprofit and government and education. So that's what we do as women. We diversify our professional portfolio. But at the same time, we forget about having that self-care day or that self-care week because we're looking for that next opportunity. The next opportunity is wonderful, but sometimes we have to be in the present. Because sometimes we're working so hard for the future, okay, especially if you have children. You know, you're thinking about college education. Okay, so if I get this promotion, this additional raise, I'm going to put it into this account for my children's education. We have the holidays that's coming up in 7 months, and Tommy wants a bicycle. So we're preparing for that. We're preparing for the vacation, the Europe vacation in 2 years. So, you know, it's like the wheel is always spinning. The wheel is always turning for the next, but sometimes we forget to be in the present, like today, just today. Can I just focus on what's going to happen today and just be still and just be quiet for today and not worry so much about tomorrow? But see, I can say that now because I'm retired. But this is what I recall, you know, because we make these, we have these expectations of ourselves, whatever those expectations are. So, and it's important for us to achieve our goals. It's so important to achieve the goals. I spoke with one lady, her goal was to be president of the community college that she graduated from. She made it. She made it, but not so healthy. So we can reach all of our goals. It might take us a little bit longer, but the self-care should be first. Peace should be first. A lot of times our agenda is money is first. And money should never be first. Because we get sidetracked. Because the only thing we have tunnel vision, the only thing we're looking at is making more money.
So true. Yes. Being a nurse and being around people, I can totally relate to that. So we don't take care of ourselves and just pay for it later. So that's a big issue in the healthcare community because I see it at the first as a nurse, I just see those people who are issues could be preventable and just the simple things that we can do for ourselves, right? Just delegate, just let go of some of the things. Yeah,
exactly. And I have to say that when I was an instructional design manager, There were three managers, and I have to say I had the best team. I had the best team because I know how to delegate, and it's not about micromanaging the team. It's all about delegating the work so that I have time to breathe,
So
and
true.
so that my employees are empowered to make decisions. I don't have to be there every step of the way for my team to make a decision. If you make a bad decision, it's okay because we're going to talk about it, and I'm going to help you to make that next decision.
Oh, so good. So good.
So yeah, oh, I can imagine you see that. You see people
Mhm.
coming in that's and the funniest thing, I'm sure you see them, they're in are you in the ER or
Outpatient surgeon. I was in ICU for 15 years,
okay, so people are going into surgery on their cell phone,
right?
giving instructions, okay?
So true. So true. So that's what my goal is to just open eyes to some of the people so that we would live healthier, happier, and more abundant lives. So that's the goal of the summit. So it just hurts me too much to see some things that could be preventable from the beginning. So the people who come through the hospital doors, some things like high blood pressure, just weight issues. All could be preventable, and it just hurts a lot to see the people how they're struggling, that they cannot breathe when they on the oxygen mask, and they have to sit up to be able to breathe. So it's just very painful to watch, and so that's my goal, and that's my mission, to bring it to people so they would be more aware of what things we can prevent in our lives and live healthy. So, and the last
Absolutely.
question I have for you. So, practical steps. What practical steps would you give to our participants that they can take? Simple, practical steps that they can live their lives, especially in demanding roles like motherhood and leadership and day-to-day lives.
Step one is called self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Step one is self-care. Um, Eating healthy, you should get your blood work done twice a year. Your doctor should be requesting for lab work twice a year.
Mm-hmm.
You should be going to the dentist twice per year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times people don't think that, oh, I don't have to go to the dentist, but it's all about self-care.
Right.
Okay. You should be checking, if you're 40 and over, you should be checking your blood pressure. You should
Mm-hmm.
have a blood pressure monitor in your home and checking your blood pressure. You
Right.
should be recording that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, self-care, eating a well-balanced meal. I mean, there are so many programs out there. What works for me is intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've been able to control the weight. So I fast for 16 hours and I eat for 8. So there's a protein, there's a carb, there's a vegetable, and a salad. It's real simple. And self-care, stay away from eating out at the restaurants because you don't know what you're eating at the restaurants. That's all a part of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the other part I want to talk about self-care is that you can't take care of your kids and your husband when you're not taking care of yourself. And extra weight brings on diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
hypertension, and it's like I saw this cartoon. I think it was a cartoon in a magazine, I think. And they had the line for meds. They had all these people lined up for meds, but the line that says change your habits was empty. There was no
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard to change.
Mm-hmm.
But who wants to be on meds for the rest of their life?
Mm-hmm.
That's all about self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that self-care, you don't have to chase money. It will be there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to chase it. Um, I mean, I could give you a list of things, but the number one thing is self-care.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, what I do is I'm very spiritual. So when I look at self-care, I look at it as part of my spirituality
Mm-hmm.
because I'm only getting one body.
Right.
And when you hear about Alzheimer and you hear about arthritis, that's all called inflammation in the body. You can get rid of inflammation in the body if you just eat correctly. I don't want to end up with Alzheimer.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of my self-care. So I'm trying, that's not what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we don't want a heart attack. I don't want stroke either, but I really
Mm-hmm.
don't want Alzheimer.
Mm-hmm.
So once I understood what inflammation is in the body and what causes it, which is bad food, I was like, that's all a part of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand what the body, what everyone's body is different, and everyone's the different food intakes is different. My body doesn't like a lot of meat,
Mm-hmm.
so I know that. So I know I can get protein from eating other things. So I don't always have to have meat. But
Mm-hmm.
everyone's body is different. And that's where your primary care physician comes in. That's when you're spending time by yourself in a quiet space, your body will tell you what you need.
Mm-hmm. That's
I
so.
mean, there are holistic doctors out there that you can have that, people can have conversations with to help them to return so their body returns to be healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care. So that's my tip for today. It's self-care.
So true. So true. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Thank you so much, Dr. E. Again, we really appreciate your time and that you took, and thank you for all the work that you do for a community and for women, and just to make us healthier and happier in our lives. I just wanted to ask, so how our participants can find you? Where can we find you? How can we locate you? Is there any contact information you want to share?
Absolutely. You can reach me at www.signatureofexcellencelifecoach.com, or you can reach me at 916-204-7278. I'm located in the greater Sacramento area, but I have clients globally. So I look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And again, my last comment is take care of yourself.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. So let's keep an eye for Dr. E prepared for us a free gift. So we're going to be sending out emails, and just keep an eye for that email that's going to be coming to your inbox soon. Well, thank you so much again, Dr. E, and you have a great and blessed rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Same to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.